single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Now we're live. Hi, this is Rosita, aka Miss Sip, Superwoman for Sip on Radio, and we are live on Living Your Dreams with Rosita, and I am here with Mr. Robby Wells.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
I'm great. I wish there was more light around here to say.
Oh, it's good. No, we're good.
Okay. Well, okay, there goes someone. Hey, Sasha. Sasha does music too.
Okay, great. Hello, Sasha.
Okay, Mr. Wells, I want you to tell them, about yourself. I know that you was adopted, so I think that's a fascinating story and encouraging, and I would like for people to hear.
Okay, yeah, sure. And I see there's a lot more people that are actually joining in right now. My name is Robby Wells, and I'm from the state of Georgia, and I am seeking the Democratic Party nomination for President of the United States in 2020 to go up against Mr. Trump. But I'm probably the most unlikely person to say that he is running for President of the United States.
He running again.
Who? Mr. Trump?
Mr. Trump.
I'm not sure at this point. It seems like he's got some problems, but I'm not going to talk about him. Let's talk about the media does enough on him.
I know.
Yeah, I can just stay positive.
He's
right?
about to go crazy because
That's
everybody on him.
That's right. But I am probably the most unlikely person to be running for president. Many years ago, this beautiful girl went away to college on a music scholarship with all of her hopes ahead of her, and she was very talented. She could sing, and but like most young girls, she fell in love with a man that was older than her, and he had a family. One thing led to another. She gets pregnant, and all of her friends says, "Go ahead and terminate." To the point where they set her up an appointment to terminate, and at the last minute, she said, "No, I'm not. I'm going to put this child up for adoption." Now, I've always said, if I could meet that beautiful young girl, I would thank her for setting my life in motion, because that beautiful young girl is my birth mother. Well, last year I actually had the chance to meet her.
Nice.
And she actually lives in the state of Georgia too. That's what's so neat.
Really?
Yeah. So my adopted mother, who is now 80, going on 84, and my birth mother, who is 71, have become really good friends.
See,
and I've got two mothers that actually adore me. Who can say that? Not many people.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. And just think about it. Just imagine what you are becoming, what you're becoming. I could just imagine so many things going on with you.
Well, I'm having fun
awesome.
with it. I tell you, we're having a great time going across the country. My movement is called the Rise Up movement.
Yes. Rise Up, yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing with Rise Up. I actually had the name of this movement way before the Falcons took it and ran with it. I've had this movement, I think, since 2011. So when I started it, I was hoping that we could get this just to a national level, where everybody in the United States would know about it. But now here we are, 6 years later, and we've gone international. This year alone, we've been to China, we've been to India, France, and the UK. So it's gone international.
And see, I like the fact that you're interacting with other countries and stuff, because Trump, well, I hate to bring up his name, but as our some people current president, he don't like dealing with other people,
Well, no, he doesn't. But here's the way I look at it. The United States only has 5% of the world's population. 95% of our population lives in other countries. So the world needs the United States, obviously.
Yes.
But we need the world too.
Exactly.
So we've got to have leaders that actually reach out to these other countries to make sure that we're working together with trade. We want to be friendly and trade with all those nations that are friendly and want to trade back.
Exactly.
So that's what we should do. I just came from India. India has 1.4 billion people. It's the second largest nation on the face of the planet. It's also the largest democracy on the face of the planet. In fact, our two nations, the United States and India, we comprise about 1/3 of the world's population, and we have the two largest democracies. So my plan is actually to work with India and build a very strong relationship where we can create millions of good-paying jobs here in the United States and in India to achieve sustainable energy independence. We've all seen the storms that have been caused by global warming, which is real.
Yes.
If you ask 100 scientists, they'll all tell you global warming is real.
Yes.
All you have to do is look at Harvey and look at Irma, the last two storms, how they devastated Houston and Puerto Rico. And you've got to say, you know what? We probably need to do some different things.
Exactly.
We've got the plan that will do different things, but put millions of people to work in the process to achieve that, giving them good paying jobs.
Exactly. Well, like I said, I love the story about you being adopted, and
thanks.
I know both of the women in your life is very, very proud of you.
I'm proud of them too. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to start speaking of women in your life.
Okay. Sure.
I know that was brought up on my radio show about you being married.
Right, and I'm not. No.
So he's single, but there's a woman in your life.
Well, there is one out there. She's a friend of mine, and we kind of have a pact that if I'm single when I'm elected and she's still single, she'll go with me. So to the White House as the First Lady.
Well, it's going to be a lot of women to know that you're single.
I am.
So you might not be single once you make it to the White House.
I keep it moving now, Rosita. I keep it moving.
You know they're gonna be after you. This man is running for president, and you talking about you're single, so you know they're gonna be after you.
Oh yeah, I keep it moving.
And it's a lot of successful women that. Let me see, can I set this? This is my first time using a selfie stick, y'all. So I'm trying to get it to where. Set that down. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Wow.
There we go.
Yes. Okay. Now, like I was saying.
Sure.
There's a lot of women that's successful, beautiful,
Oh yeah.
and
absolutely.
And you said that. Okay, you're not married, and y'all pack is when you make it to the White House.
Yeah.
Make it to the White House, and you're single.
If I'm single and she's single.
Why you looking scared? He like this one.
I'm okay.
I'm just saying,
I'm okay.
So what?
See, I think that the President of the United States needs to be able to take questions like this without it bothering him.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You swear, man. Do not look at the head and start
Hello, America.
Yeah, I know he is with Rosita, so I'm gonna ask the questions that really wouldn't nobody ask him.
Oh, I'm glad you are actually. Though. This is good.
Okay, so tell me. Basically, I know a lot of people would like to know. I'm trying to see if anybody posted up a question, but they're just watching. And hi, y'all. Glad everyone is tuning in.
Well, everybody that is tuning in, they can post a question.
Yes, they can actually post a question if they wanted to. Well, I'm pretty sure that they want to know about what are your plans for, changing a lot of things. I know. And I asked you earlier before we went live, about what needs to be changed, and both of us agree a lot.
Rosita, let me say this, okay? We've heard the phrase "Make America Great Again," and we know where that came from.
Yeah.
And we know who has said it.
Yes.
But I venture to say America has been good, but we will not achieve greatness until the lines of separation that have divided this nation are completely erased.
Exactly.
Whether it be because of race, sexual orientation, your religion, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
You deserve leadership that is actually going to be inclusive and bring people together.
Yes. Yes.
Which is what my campaign, really what my whole life's always been about.
Yes. And it's
so, you know, I believe that we need leaders, not just at the presidential level, but all throughout
exactly.
Congress and all the way down through state and local government that truly represent the people. And I want you to think about this, okay? Whoever's been elected president for the past 60 years has either been left-wing leaning or right-wing, which means on day one, half of Congress is going to fight that president on whatever. Right now, we've got a right-wing president, so all the Democrats are going to fight him.
Exactly.
When President Obama was in, he was left-wing leaning, so all the Republicans fought him.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
What if we elect a president that can see the beauty in both leanings and take the absolute best from the left and the absolute best from the right and get both sides to actually work together for the people? Because I truly believe there's good on both sides. And I'll ask you this question. Have you ever seen a bird fly with one wing?
No.
I don't think that our government can work with one wing either.
Exactly.
We've both got to work together. But what you have right now is a situation in Congress where you have all these special interest groups with all this money, and they get with their wing, and it's really, really damaged not only Congress, but it's damaged the entire country.
Okay, and Johnny Blake said, what are your plans for health care?
Okay, plans for health care. Very, very good question. I hate to see what's happening right now with the Republicans trying to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, and because the only reason they're doing it, it has nothing to do with the actual intricacies of what's working and what's not. What they're doing it for is simply because
Obama put it in place.
President Obama put it in place, and the nickname for the Affordable Care Act is Obamacare.
So they basically, I get what you're saying. I get where you're going with that. So it's like, it's a good plan, but the fact that it's called Obamacare,
the Republicans don't like it. That's right.
Yeah. But so they want to change like one or two things or whatever to make it so they can call it something else. As long as it's not called Obama.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, as it's most commonly known as, was a great first step. It is not the end result.
Exactly. Because everything has to be,
Yeah, because if you think about Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, it just makes health care affordable for people.
Yes.
The end result is free health care for every American citizen. Because right now, we're the only Western industrialized nation that doesn't have free health care. So you deserve a president that is going to push legislation to make sure that each and every American, including you, sir, that just asked that question, that is going to push for legislation to make free health care with a single-payer system.
Okay, it was one of the questions that unscrolled up, but they was like, what are your experience in the government?
My experience, all right, my experience in government is, let me tell you what experience has gotten you, first of all. An economic meltdown back in 2008. Millions of jobs lost over the past 25 years overseas.
Yes.
An educational system where we rank 36 in the world. There's 35 countries ahead of us. 50 million Americans living in poverty and half our population existing on low income.
Yes.
That comes at the hands of people with all this political experience. Okay, now do you want more experience like that? I would say no, you do not. Now here's what I'm going to tell you with my experience. I was an educator for 20 years, collegiate football coach during those 20 years. I've also served in the Army National Guard. I've also been the CEO of my own business that was a thriving business in Charlotte, North Carolina. On top of that, currently I am the United States Ambassador to the International Human Rights Peace Commission, and I'm their international spokesperson too. So that's my experience. I'll put my experience up against their experience any day.
Yeah. And then the thing is, you actually care for people.
Well,
So, that's one thing that we really need in office, in every position that, dealing with office, not just president, but like you said, the wings.
yeah, the wings.
They need to care too.
They need
not just for one side, but
for
everybody
everybody.
care for, and then everything will work out.
Well, here's the thing. You think about it. If you've got a left-wing leaning president, that means
He's going
all the Republicans feel like they don't have anybody to represent them.
Exactly.
You've got a Republican president, all the Democrats feel like they don't have anybody to represent them
Exactly.
either. So how about one that says, okay, yeah, I'm going to run as a Democrat, which I am. I'm a Democrat.
Yes.
But I'm going to actually use some tools on both sides to bring this country together. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the way that we've got to go. We've been a divided nation for way too long.
Exactly.
It's time for us to come together, people.
I had mentioned on my show that usually back in the day, you listen to the presidential candidates and you can listen to the Republican and the Democrat and actually want to hear what both sides had to say, regardless of who they was. But now, it's so much hate in the world to where it's like, I'm a Democrat, but if you don't want to hear anything the other side has to say. It's just like,
well, you know why?
This side, like you said, the sides and stuff.
Well, here's why, though. It's because of special interest groups. Those special interest groups have plagued Washington, and now it has plagued our entire country. Those special interest groups is what has kept all the manufacturing industry overseas.
Yeah.
The special interest groups is what has caused a lot of this gun violence. Because they want to keep the guns out there because they make more money. The special interest groups are the ones that are fighting tooth and nail to keep us on fossil fuels, even though they know that they're destroying our planet.
That owns the prisons.
See? Oh, yeah, that's the special interest groups. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you about myself and about any other elected official that you need to be voting for. They need to have one special interest group, and that's 350 Americans. That's it. The people. That's my special interest group.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Question.
What's your viewpoint on allowing others to live their lives that you may not agree with?
Very good question. Who is it? Is that Nathan?
Yes.
All right, Nathan, very good question. Here's what I'm going to tell you, Nathan. According to the First Amendment of the Constitution, everybody in this country has the right to express themselves in a lawful manner. Even if you do not agree with it, that person has the right to do it. You've got the right to worship whatever God you want. You've got the right to worship anywhere you want and where you want, or even not. So what I'm going to tell you is this. I personally am a Christian, but I believe that the way that I was taught as a child falls right in line with the First Amendment, because see, I was taught to love and respect all people, even those that believe different from me.
Yes.
Hope that answers your question, Nathan.
Good question, Nathan.
Very good question.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of what else that I want to ask you that I feel as though that they would want to know.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. Education. How about this?
I was just going to mention kids. Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about kids. We've got to do a better job, Rosita, because right now our country ranks 36th overall in the field of education. There are 35 countries ahead of the United States, and I do not believe that is good enough. It's not good enough at all. So what I am proposing is that we educate our kids at a younger age to a later age, and that it's paid for. Because right now what we've got is a system that pays from kindergarten all the way through the 12th grade. The 12th grade.
Oh, yeah.
The 12th grade. So we are the only Western industrialized nation that doesn't have free college tuition or free 2-year college tuition. But under my plan, we're going to change that, and we know how we're going to fund it. We know how we're going to make college education free for every student that goes to a state-supported college or university. We also know how we're going to eliminate the $1.4 trillion that is out there right now in student loan debt. Because right now you've got all these young kids that are looking at college and they say, well, why do I want to go to college? Take out $250,000 in loans, and then when I'm in debt and I get out and I can't find a job in my field, I have to go work at McDonald's, and there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, okay? But if you go to college and you get a degree, you're expecting to have something in your field. So I understand that, which is why, you know, we've got the plan to make college education free all the way to a bachelor's degree. But we need to be educating our kids at a younger age too.
Yes.
Right now, we have 17 million single mothers in this country, and they're raising over 20 million children. Now, a lot of them have to go on government assistance because they can't afford the child care. My plan gives universal child care to single parent homes and dual parent homes. We're going to free these parents up so they can go back to school for free, or they can go back to work. Now, when they go back to work, we're going to bring back millions of good paying jobs to this country to achieve sustainable energy independence. We've got the technology to do it. You deserve a president that is going to move us in that direction of sustainable energy independence. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, it'll get us out of all the wars we've been in the Middle East for the past 25, 26 years now, since Desert Storm. Number two, it's going to create millions of jobs here in the United States. Good paying jobs in the United States. I'm talking six-figure income jobs. But number three, it'll clean up our environment. It'll reverse the effects of global warming.
Yes.
We've only got one planet. There is no planet B out there that we can move to. We've only got planet A, so we've got to take care of it.
So let me ask you this. When you said the free colleges and stuff,
sure,
will it be an age limit? Or would it, let's say somebody my age, 43, wanted to go...
You want to go back to school?
Yes. So let's say, would it be free for everyone, or... There'll be stipulations on it, of course. But anybody that wants to go to a state college or university, their tuition under my plan would be taken care of. Now, they've got the stipulations would be able to hold a certain GPA. Yes. To be able to keep it. But right now, let me tell you this, Rosita. Right now, it takes roughly $60 billion a year to educate our young people. Okay, $60 billion sounds like a lot of money, but in government spending, it's not very much. Exactly.
We spend that much in foreign aid. We spend $30 billion a year right now chasing down young people that smoke marijuana and putting them in prison. My plan is to go ahead and decriminalize the use of marijuana, just like we did with alcohol. Yes. Decriminalize it across the entire country, regulate and tax the industry. Okay? Now we're going to save that $30 billion, but we're also going to generate another $30 billion a year, okay, on taxes. Yes. By taxing the industry. That's $60 billion. We just made college education free. Now, if we take our foreign aid, which is also at $60 billion, let's say we just cut it in half, and we take that $30 billion that we've got now, right, and we apply that to the student loan debt. Now, anybody out there that has a student loan, it goes away for you. The government's saying we're going to pick up that tab. Because I don't think it's right that our federal government profits on our citizens that take out a student loan so that they can go get a great paying job to help our government or to help this nation out. That's not right. Do you know how much it actually costs in some nations to go to college? It doesn't. They actually pay their students. It's like a job.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, Johnny Blake said, what are your thoughts on Head Start programs?
Oh, well, Head Start programs, we just covered that. You know, I want universal child care for the 17 million single moms that are out there, and for the dual parent homes as well. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for expanding that. We've got to start educating our children at a younger age. And at the same time, what it's going to do, it'll free up families and parents so that they can go back to school and work. Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
Was there anything else that you want to add to? Because I'm having a good time talking to you.
Oh, I'm having a good time too. Yeah, I want to add this to everybody that's watching. You can go on the campaign website, and the website address is riseupwithrobby.com. That's Rise Up with Robby. Spell Robby with a Y. Riseupwithrobby.com. and you can see everywhere we've been. Rosita, when I started this campaign back in 2011, it was November 21st, 2011, and it was just God and me. People thought I was crazy.
Well, that's who you need right there.
Well, you're right. You're right. But people thought I was crazy to walk away from the coaching career. They thought I was absolutely.
You look like a coach.
Well, thank you. But they thought I was insane to say, "You're going to run for president? Come on, get real." Yeah. But I stuck with it, and it's just anything in life. If you stick with it long enough, it comes to you.
That's right.
And it's coming to us. It's coming to us now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I believe it. I believe you're going to be the next president.
Thanks.
So y'all see I'm here with the next president, Mr. Robby Wells.
Well, we're getting a lot of love on here.
Yeah, we're getting plenty of love.
Is that another question?
I'm sad. Your viewpoint on Russia, China.
Your viewpoint on Russia, China, and other nations who are trying to influence and divide this nation.
That's a good
well,
question.
I don't know if these other countries are trying to divide our nation. Now, when it comes to China, you know, we've got a trade agreement with China that I truly don't agree with. NAFTA. They've got a value-added tax. We do not. And I'm not saying that we need a value-added tax, so please don't take me out of context. What I'm saying is this: if China's got a 17%, and I believe that's exactly what it is, they've got a 17% value-added tax, then anything coming from China back here, we should add on a 34% tariff to make it fair. China also manipulates the currency, which is not fair. They manipulate the currency here for people in the United States. Not fair at all. That needs to change, and it will change under my administration. What I would tell China is this: look, China, we got India right next door to you, which is the largest democracy on the face of the planet. They've got 1.4 billion people. We can start doing a whole lot more business with India if China doesn't want to, you know, straighten up and fly right. Now, when it comes to Russia, you know, there's a lot of talk about Russia and what they did with the elections. I don't know if they were trying to divide the nation, Nathan. It seems to me that the leadership at the top right now is the one that's trying to divide the nation.
Exactly. Because
So
everything he does is a motive behind.
Yeah.
So.
But I will say this: we need to take steps to make sure that foreign countries cannot meddle in our elections and have any control over that. And it's obvious that did take place with Russia. I wouldn't say that divided our nation. I would say that it probably hurt the election cycle as you see it. But I don't think it changed the outcome. If you look at the Rust Belt all went to Donald Trump back in November of 2016. I don't know if it was so much that the people in the Rust Belt wanted Donald Trump or they just didn't want Hillary.
It's a lot of people that didn't vote.
Yeah.
Or voted for Donald because they felt as though they didn't want Hillary.
Right.
And it's a lot of people that didn't want a woman. And it's not that they're not ready for a woman. It's the fact they didn't want her.
They didn't want her.
Exactly. So
that's right. Well, and we had our own. You know, we ran in 2016, and I ran as a Democrat, and we were actually at the first two primary debates, and we were actually blocked from taking the stage in those debates. But
really?
we were blocked, and the plan has not changed. My platform is still the same. You know, when you got something good, you just stick with it.
Exactly.
But we were blocked from those debates, and we truly believe it was because of my debate experience, and they didn't want me on the stage with Hillary.
Well, you know, the thing is, the last thing they was doing, it wasn't really debating. It was like on the like kids arguing.
Oh yeah. You're talking about when it came down to her and Donald Trump.
Yeah, her and Donald Trump. It's like it was like watching kids like.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You're this and you're that. It was like.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on building the border wall? These are good questions.
Yes. Who's that? That's Johnny Blake again.
Johnny, very, very good question. Thank you for asking that. As far as the border is concerned, you know, we've got over 14 million undocumented immigrants in the United States right now. 14 million. If you want to know whose fault that is, each and every one of us tonight need to just look in the mirror, because it's our fault for not holding our legislators accountable for it. I don't believe that you win with things. I believe that you win with people. So I'm not convinced that building a wall is the thing that we need to do. You look at the Berlin Wall; it had to come down. Why would we want to build a wall? What I would say is this: we've got the technology that we can detect if somebody's trying to cross the border right now illegally. Okay, I would quadruple our border patrol, and then once we've got a secure border, then we've got to look at those that are trying to come into this country and why. They've been coming in illegally because they can't afford to go through the process. It costs a lot of money to get your citizenship. So they're coming from poverty, a lot of these people in Central and South America. So what I want to do once we secure the border is enact my plan, which is called Service for Freedom. Service for Freedom works like this. Anyone that wants to come into the United States that can't afford financially to go through the process of gaining their citizenship, we will let them serve in the local, state, or federal government, some sort of position, or even in the military for 4 years. In that 4-year process, they're going to learn the English language. They're going to learn about the history of our country. They're going to learn about our founding fathers and the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. They're going to learn about all this. They're going to earn a wage that is taxable.
Exactly.
And at the end of that 4-year period, they will have gained their citizenship. It's called Service for Freedom. It's actually already a law. I just want to expand the law. Right now we have about 2,000 people or so a year that go through it. Let's just expand it.
And that's a good word, earn their way, you know, but still allowing them the opportunity. You know, and I feel as though everybody needs an opportunity.
Everybody needs an opportunity.
What they were trying to do and want to do.
That's correct.
Okay, Kathy said, what is your take on Georgia law where felons can't even get an apartment, rent an apartment? She thinks it's very unfair and needs to be changed.
Well, Kathy, number one, it's a Georgia law, okay? So you probably need to go back to your Georgia legislators and to the governor of Georgia to work with some people to lobby for changes there. Now, some states have easier laws for convicted felons than others. I'm one that I believe that if you've done the crime and you go do the time, then go ahead and restore that person to full citizenship status. Now, with one exception, okay? The one exception I would have is if it was a violent crime and they get out, I don't think that person ever needs to really have another gun. I think you're playing with fire when it comes to guns. But when it comes to all this other stuff about like getting an apartment, getting a job, I don't even think that it should be on the application. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? They need to take that off.
Because you know why a lot of people end up going back doing whatever they did. Because they can't have a normal life.
That's
Everything
exactly right.
and a lot of stuff happens when people are like younger, 20, 21, when they're going through that phase of learning who they are, 18, and then this stuff sticks with them for the rest of their life.
Rosita.
And people get families, married, you know, kids, and they want to change. You know,
let me tell you a story about Freddie. Okay, you bring up the young 21, 22-year-olds. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was early January of 2014, and it was freezing. And so I took a bunch of my supporters and we went down to the homeless shelter and took a bunch of blankets and coats and stuff because they had an overabundance of homeless people that were having to actually stay outside of the shelter. And they had this whole parking lot, and I'm talking about thousands of people in this parking lot that were homeless. And I met Freddie, and Freddie was 21 years old, and he had been out of prison for about 2 weeks. And they had basically, in Arizona, just put him out on the street once he had done his time and said, you're on your own. But there was nothing to help Freddie. So Freddie told me his story. There was nothing to help him get a job. In fact, if he tried to get a job, he couldn't get a job. If he tried to get a place to live, he couldn't. So he was basically stuck. Freddie had tears in his eyes. He says, if you ever get a chance to change it, change it. So if Freddie ever gets a chance to see this, Freddie, I'm doing everything I can to change it for you, buddy.
I'm pretty sure Freddie's going to see this, because it's going to be like worldwide.
Okay. This is gospel artist Tamika and all, or something like that. Is that right? What will you do about creating jobs in America? Okay, that comes from Johnny. Johnny, we can create millions of jobs in the United States to achieve sustainable energy independence. And what that's going to do, that's going to get us all off all the fossil fuels. It'll clean up our environment. It's going to create a sense of greater prosperity for all Americans, and no more wars in the Middle East, which is what I think we need to do. We can do that through solar, through wind, and through harnessing the waves, the energy of the ocean waves. There's actually a group out in Idaho right now that has a thing called solar highways. They actually lay the grid down on the highway. If we did that just on our major interstates across the United States, it would create 6 times the amount of power that we actually need in any day in the United States.
Okay, Nathan said, what's your plans on clean energy?
Well, I just answered that, Nathan.
Okay.
So, you know, once again, if we don't have clean energy, it's just going to keep getting our planet, you know, hotter and hotter and hotter, and you're going to see these storms that are bigger and bigger. Think about this: Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. They were devastating. They were 10 times the size of Hurricane Hugo, Hurricane Katrina, and Hurricane Andrew. Now, those 3 storms did a lot of damage. But now you're talking about superstorms that are 10 times that size, and they're packing way more of a punch. We got to do some major changes, not only in the United States, but around the world. But we should lead the charge right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else you want to add?
Again, you can go to the campaign website, and that is riseupwithrobby.com. And if you want to help out this campaign, please contact us and let us know. But on the campaign website, you're going to see all the links for social media. You'll see wherever we've been around the country and around the world. I will be speaking out the first of the year in January in Los Angeles, California. So we're really looking forward to that, to all the people out in California. One more question here. What will we do about police brutality in America?
Oh, yes.
Very good question, Johnny. Now, Johnny, I'm going to tell you this. The President of the United States has a very fine line that he has to walk when it comes to the judicial system, to the police system in this country. It's really not up to the President. Now, the President can get up there and he can talk about it. And here's what I'm willing to say about it, but it's got to come from the state and local governments as far as how they're doing this. But as President, this is what I'll tell our state legislators and the local legislators. A better job needs to be done in, number 1, hiring the correct people, training them and screening them so that we do have the right people in place. That's number 1. But number 2, if you think about Ferguson and the kid that lost his life there.